Hi, this is Gail with Beaded Jewelry Diva, and today we are going to make this set of earrings. So these are made with SuperDuo beads and then some Swarovski crystal pearls. I will show you how to make these, and then I will also show you some other ones that I've made with different color combinations and different beads, and I will explain what I did differently for them. But meanwhile, this is the one we're going to make today. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and see what we need to make this particular set of earrings. I started by stringing on a stop bead, and then once I've got that, I've got a size 6, and then I've got 8 size 15 seed beads. So I've got them on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip all 8 of the size 15 seed beads, and I'm going to go back down through the size 6. What this is making is our earring finding loop. Now I'm going to pick up 5 size 15 seed beads. And then I'm going to start my SuperDuo loops. So I'm going to pick up a SuperDuo and then a 15 between each one. And I have mine laid out in a color pattern. If you are using all one color, then that's fine. Just, you have all one color. If you want a pattern of some sort, and this size 15 seed bead is not cooperating, so it goes bye-bye. If you want to use a particular pattern, I always think it's easier to just kind of lay it out some. I can't believe the luck I'm having with my size 15s today. I think it's because I got the Duracoat, or whatever you want to call them, that has that permanently galvanized finish to it. Not sure if that's affecting it. Okay, so I've got 4 on so far, and I've got to put the other 3 on. Then when I'm finished putting these on, I have to put on 5 more seed beads. So now I've got the last of the SuperDuos going on, so I've got to pick up 5 more seed beads. You can use size 11s for this if you want to. I have one that I'll show you a little bit later where I did use size 11s instead of size 15s. And you can see if you like that look better or not. I liked the thinner look, but it's all up to you. Okay, so here I am, and at this point I'm going to go back up into the size 6 seed bead. So I'm going to be just basically making a loop. I'm going to go through all 8 of these, and then I'm going to come back down on the other side. All the way back around, and now my thread is coming out of the last seed bead before I hit the SuperDuo, and I'm going to pick up 2 size 15 seed beads. For the 2 size 15 seed beads, I'm going to go through the top hole of the SuperDuo. So it looks like this. Then I'm going to pick up my next color. In this particular case, I'm using a pink, and I'm not putting a seed bead between these. So I've just got the SuperDuo, and I'm going to go directly into this next purple. So it looks like this. So this is one of my first little spokes, I guess you'd want to call it. Pick up 3 size 15 seed beads and put them through the top, if yours cooperate. So I'm up through the top of this pink seed bead. Now what I'm going to do is pick up 5 of the size 15s. 3, 4, 5. And what I want to do is I want to create like a little crown or loop or a picot over the top of this one. So I've got my thread coming out of this side, so I want to put my needle back into this side, because that's going to form a loop over the top. So it looks like this. Now I'm going to pick up 3 more seed beads, and I'm going to go down into the top hole of this purple one. I'm going to go through the SuperDuos. So I've gone through 2 SuperDuos, now I'm going through the last SuperDuo. And all I need to do to finish off this little point is to go back down into this size 15 seed bead. So I want to go in through this. And that finishes off this point. Now it doesn't look very pointy, it looks kind of disheveled. It's okay, it's going to look better once we go ahead and get this all tightened up. So not to worry about that. Not at this point. Alright, so I've got a pink, a green, and a pink. That's my next color set. So what am I going to do? Again, it's very similar. I'm going to go pick up 2, go into the top of my pink, 2 size 15s, top of the pink. Going to pick up the next color in my process. This is a green, and let's get this SuperDuo facing right. I'm going to go directly into this green. So again, I have not picked up another seed bead at this point. I'm just going directly into that green one, and then I'm going to go directly into this pink one. And that's wrong. So this is a chance for you to see what happens when I mess up. So this could be one of my blooper reels, I guess. But so what was I supposed to do? I was supposed to pick up another seed bead or another SuperDuo. Oh boy. I thought about editing this out, and then I decided, nah, you'd like to see me make mistakes. Alright, so this is what it looks like so far. Now I've got to go ahead and get this last one in here, this last SuperDuo. So in order to do that, I have to pick up 3 of the size 15s, go into the top of this green. So it looks like this. Then I pick up my gold, and I go through the other green. So this is what it looks like. Now I've got to get to the point where I can put my little picot around the top of it. In order to do it, I have to pick up 3 size 15s. And again, I'm going through the top, the gold. I'm going to pick up 5 size 15s. And again, my thread's coming out of this side, so I want to put my needle back through this side. And I'm going to go snake my way back down. And I'm going to pick up 3 size 15s. I'm going to go into the top of this green. And also through the gold and the other green. So when I say snaking my way back through, it really is, I'm doing mess ups. I'm doing kind of figure eights all through this because I'm going up and around in order to get back down to this side. If that makes any sense. Okay, size 15s at the ready. Now I've got to go down through my pink, and then I've got to go through this whole line. Going through this one, this one, the one that I missed before, and then through the pink. And then how many do I pick up now? If you said 2, you are correct. I pick up 2, and I go down into this seed bead right here. And then at this point, I'm going to go ahead and complete this side the way I did this one. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back to you when we're ready for the next step. Here we are. We're about ready to start putting in the first pearl. And I want you to see where I'm at. So right now, I've gone ahead and I finished this side, and I've come through 3 of the size 15s, and that's where my thread is coming out of now. I'm going to pick up one of these 6mm pearls, and I'm going to put my needle through this middle SuperDuo. I am just going through the SuperDuo. I am not picking up the size 15 seed beads on either side of that SuperDuo. It looks like this. So you can see it's coming down from this side. It's gone through the SuperDuos. Now I'm going to put it back up through the pearl. So it looks like this. And then I'm going to put it in the same place on this side that I did on this side. 1, 2, that's 2 from this one, and then put my needle into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, but just going through the 3rd. So that puts in your pearl. I know it looks a little wonky and everything at the moment, but that's okay. This will end up tightening up. Speaking of tightening up, that is our next step, because I'm going to go ahead and go through all these size 15s. And this is going to help stabilize the outside portion, make it look a little smoother. Okay, so I'm all the way down through this. I'm going to go through just the size 15. That completes this little arm, but now we've got to put in our next pearl. Okay, I'm coming out of the seed bead that was originally joining this SuperDuo and this SuperDuo. I want to count up 3 from it. So here's 1, 2, and 3. I want to put my needle up through so it's exiting the 3rd one. Let's get the thread out of the way. So I'm coming out of the 3rd one. I'm going to pick up a size 15, one of the 4mm pearls, if it cooperates. Another size 15. And then I'm going to go back down through the same bead on this side. So my little bead right down here is the one that goes between those 3, or these 2 SuperDuos. So I'm going to count 3 up. That's this one. And there's my pearl. Now you may be wondering why I just didn't go ahead and go from this side to this side, and why didn't I just go ahead and miss all the rest of the stuff in between? It's because this stuff in between helps to stabilize the pearl. So it never hurts to have a little bit more thread going through your items. All right, so we're ready to put in the pearl dangle. In order to do so, and you can see that I'm coming out of the last one on this side. I'm going to skip this one in the middle, so I want to keep just coming out of this one. So I'm going to put on 5 of the size 15s, and then I'm going to pick up my 6mm pearl. Then I'm going to pick up 4 more size 15s. And once again, I'm going to skip, or I should say, for the first time, I'm going to skip these 3, and I'm going to go down into the 4th of the seed beads, and then the pearl, and I don't want to catch any of the seed beads on the other side, because we're going to put in another line of beads. So I've got my little picot down at the bottom. And now I've got to put on 5 more size 15 seed beads. 3, 4, 5. And again, I'm skipping this one in the middle, and I want to put my needle up through the one just to the side of it that's going to go down this side. At this point, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead, travel down through that from the 3rd one, pick up the seed bead, a pearl, and a seed bead, come back down through, loop through. To finish this off, I need to go ahead and do a half hitch. And in this particular style, I usually only do 1 or maybe 2 half hitches. The reason being is these size 12 or size 15 seed beads are pretty well filled up with thread at this point. So they don't need a lot of half hitches to keep them in place. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and snip it. I'm not even going to worry about putting it through some other beads or anything like I normally would. This particular one, I have a couple of options. I can either just do a half hitch wannabe, like pulling it up tight in here, or I can just, since today I'm not doing any of these right, I'm not going to do that for this one. For this one, this thread is already in there really tight through all these. I'm just going to snip this one too. Now it's about ready, so I'm going to put it on the quick change earring finding, and I do have a video on that if you want to make your own quick change earring finding. And there we go. I'll just go ahead and put the little clasp on the back, and we'll show you the 2 earrings together. So we've got this one that we just made in the video demo, and we've got its mate. So we have the two earrings, and this is again what we made in our project. Okay, here is another set that I made. So this is very simple. The differences in this one is I added an extra little picot on the ends of these. I also used the bicones instead of the pearls. So other than that, it's pretty much the same, just the bicones and then adding this little picot onto the top. So I've got these. Let's see, you can see these a little bit better. Then I've got this pair, and this was done with size 12 seed beads. So I got some size 12 cut. I don't remember if they're made with Toho or if they're Miyuki, but don't use the check size 12, whatever you do. That would be a big mistake. Use the Japanese size 12s. But that's what I did for this one, and the cut makes it rather interesting. I also used, let's see, probably these are in the vicinity of 5 millimeters for these, and that's probably about another 5 to maybe 6 millimeters. These are actually made with vintage pearls, like deconstructed necklaces, so the sizes weren't as accurate as like the Swarovskis. But this is with the size 11, or excuse me, the size 12s. You could also do with size 11s, but if you wanted to do a size 11, I think you'd have to play with how many beads you used for these edge beads, because although I could go ahead and use the same count, like in other words 3 beads to go ahead and, you know, snake all these together, I think if you used a size 11 you might have to play with that, maybe only use 2 beads, or I don't know. So haven't tried that. Now here's the very first one that I made, first set. And again, I was using kind of vintagey beads. You can see the colors aren't exactly matching and and everything, but this is what gave me the start. And you can see that I did the center bead a little bit differently. You know, it's just a matter of going ahead and playing with it and seeing what suits you best. So this has gone from, I think this was the first one that I made, then I made this one, then I made this one, and today we made this one. So I hope you've enjoyed this today. If you have, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I hope you'll come and see more of my videos. And this is Gail signing out, saying have yourself a beautiful day. Bye.